Right, if you introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jim Bonner. I'm the Archeological Consultant for National Grid on the Harefield to Southall pipeline.
So what's happening today?
What we're doing today is trying to show the public some of the things that we've actually found during the archaeological excavations that have taken place in advance of building the pipeline.
What have you found?
Found a whole range of things, from the Neolithic all the way up to the 18th century. We found cremation cemeteries from the Bronze Age, we found settlement, possibly a shrine from the Roman period, and all sorts of flints from the Neolithic and Bronze Age.
Tell us about some of the things that you found in the Yeading area.
In the Yeading, we found a very interesting settlement that ran alongside the Yeading Brook. We found that it started off in the Iron Age with round houses. Then into the Roman period, some of the round houses had been altered so they became squarer. One of them, we think, may have been used as a shrine. And then the occupation extended all the way through the Roman period, we think, until it ended with a flood. There's a deposit which overlays all the occupation evidence, which is a flood deposit which has got bits of Roman material in it, which signifies the end of the settlement.
What sort of dates are we talking about?
So we're talking from the Iron Age, we're talking probably 100 BC, and then we think occupation continued all the way through to maybe the 3rd, maybe even the 4th century.
So were you surprised at the finds?
Yes, it was quite an extensive site, the Yeading Brook site. It stretched for several hundred metres, and it was also reasonably well preserved as well.
What will now happen?
Now we've dug everything out of the ground, we've catalogued it all, we've planned it. All the finds will be processed, washed and marked, and then we'll give them over to the specialists, and the specialists will start to tell us things about date, function of the items that we found, and then we'll feed that information back into the excavation records that we've got, and we'll come up with an interpretation of the archaeology for this area.
And where will this be kept?
It's going to be kept in the Museum of London on the whole, although reports will be produced which will be given to the curators at English Heritage. And at the end, we'll also have to do a publication which will be out there for the public to read.
We'll try and get you back for our local history conference next year to talk about the archaeology from this particular stretch of Yeading Brook, because I think local people will be very interested. These are the sort of exhibits you've found. Do you want to just show us a couple of those?
Right, we've got probably some of the nicest is this Bronze Age, late Bronze Age urn. This is the base of it. The sides would have come up, so it's quite a big thing. And this contained a cremation burial. We found a group of 3 of these all together in pits in the ground. And radiocarbon dating of these has given us a date around about 1000 BC. And all 3 have come out pretty close together. So it looks like we've got a generation or 2 all buried together.
Well, these are all dug out from the pipeline, are they?
That's right, all the excavations that we carried out in advance of the construction work.
Oh.
Indeed. This one's a little Roman pot. Now, what it actually was used for, we're not entirely sure. It could have been made just by someone pressing their fingers into the clay just to make a crude little pot, maybe a child even. It could have been a crucible for melting metals down in, or it could even have been an offering to a god or a deity, and actually symbolised some sort of offering. So. And then we've got a collection of prehistoric flints from the Neolithic or Bronze Age. We've got a potential arrowhead, maybe late Neolithic, early Bronze Age in there, and various flakes. This one's quite nice. This one has actually got little chips taken off the edge. Yeah, and it's been used as an awl, so for making holes. It's got a little point on the end of it.
Oh, thanks very much.
And the Samianware.
And these were found?
These are from New Year's Green
Right.
area, and they've got decoration on them. Probably come from the Southern Gaul.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. So it's a really interesting indeed. This has been really successful. It adds a new light to the local settlement, doesn't it?
It will. It'll give us a very good picture of settlement throughout this area.
Okay. Thanks, and we'll get you back next spring.
Good pleasure.
Good.